Good morning, Keller Williams.
It is.
It is.
It
It's
is.
a great morning. You know
Okay.
why it's such a good morning?
Go on then, why?
Because we're not having to worry about any hurricanes right now.
Well, Nova Scotia is.
Yeah. Why am I hearing myself? What's going on with
It's
that?
coming.
Was that
It's
my
coming
phone?
through your monitor.
See, I'm trying to monitor. You know, we really do need a producer.
We do.
Yeah. Anybody want to produce this thing for free?
Yeah, it's got to be for free because
we
we
have a
don't
very
get
low
paid.
budget.
Well, it's no budget, right?
That's right. That's right. So yeah, now there are two out there, but they're way off in the Atlantic, and it doesn't look like they're going to bother us here. However, if you are in the New England area, Maine, just be watching the weather because it looks like it's going to spin up that way, and you might catch just the outer part of it. Hopefully, everybody is hurricane free because they are no fun whatsoever.
Nope, they are not.
Nope. So we're going to be doing an episode that is all about tips and tricks. We've done some of these in the past, and we just like to reiterate this. And maybe if there's some new tips or tricks we've come across that we want to bring to you to help you navigate command a little more easily, and also to accomplish your tasks easier too. So if you have any specific questions or comments, you want to see how anything is done, please, by all means, let us know. And I'm going to throw this up here so that you can, if you're watching on Facebook, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard the permissions from Facebook so that your name and your, what do we call it, an avatar?
Yeah, the picture.
Your name and avatar shows up so that we know who we're talking to. Or if you are in YouTube, then you can just leave it in the comments and we'll be able to see it there as well. But we would love to have you interact with us. If you have any pressing questions about Command or even DocuSign for that matter, we can jump in and do that as well. We just really would love to provide some value to you for something that is maybe a pressing need that you've been dealing with, and we can make easier for you. So before we jump in, I just want to, my particular office, I'm going to do the best I can to get through this. My particular office tragically lost 2 agents last Friday. So we have not been live since that happened. It was actually last Thursday night, so the day of our last episode. And I'm not going to get into details. You can, the news reports are out there, but Rob and Jen Tower, who were just amazing sunshine people, always a smile on their face, always positive, just absolutely fantastic people, were tragically murdered last Thursday. And I'm just going to take a moment of silence right now for that, and then we're going to jump in. Okay. Thank you for that. I just felt like it was necessary. The only time that it makes sense to have silence on the radio.
Well, it's part of our culture, right?
Yep.
To care for people in our KW family, and these kind of things happen rarely, thankfully. But when they do, it's like an earthquake going off. It's really, really shattering. So yeah, it's affected the community as well, the wider community.
Yeah, and if you happen to be watching and Jen and Rob, and you haven't heard any information about what's going on to be able to celebrate their life or anything, I did just find out last night because we went to the same church as well too. But New Day Christian Church, the Northport campus in Northport, Florida, they're going to be holding their service for Rob and Jen at 5 p.m. this Sunday, which is September 10th. So if it's probably posted throughout on Facebook too, but if if you didn't quite catch that or you want to know, leave your comments and I'll get in touch with you and give you more details.
Cool.
Okay, thank you for that. And we're gonna jump in here to our handy dandy slideshow. Do you see they call that stage now? It used to say add to stream. I love it.
See, stage.
I mean, everybody updates their software and doesn't tell you, right? It's not just commands.
Yeah, it's everything.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about tips and tricks. And we have our culture moment that we kind of just started off. That is the lovely Mo Anderson, who is the heart and soul of our Keller Williams culture. And today our values: God, family, then business. And I think where that shows up the most in our office particularly, and I saw this actually when we were in the Clearwater office, which is also where our South Florida region headquarters is next door. I saw it there as well, and that is kids in the market center, growing up in the market center with their mommy and daddy realtors and Keller Williams family, and I just love that. My son has grown up in the market center from the time he was born, and he's almost 11 now. Holy cow. And our former MCA, who's become one of our agents now, her daughter has pretty much grown up in the office, and some of our other agents. So that family shows up there for sure. And then business. And, it's funny. The reason I bring that up is because sometimes agents have had to ask if they can bring, their kids to the office. And yeah, I mean, I just kind of, I almost probably go too far and go, oh my God, what are you thinking? Of course, like this is a family business, Yeah. So definitely family is important to us. All right, so our objective today is to learn tips and tricks for navigating and accomplishing tasks in Command. And the benefits are that you will easily navigate through Command applets and features and save time accomplishing tasks in Command. Gonna bring it back to the 201 Plus Club like we always do. Not that some of the stuff that we're going to talk today is going to help you with the 201 Plus Club, because we're going to show you how to easily navigate your contacts, how to add smart plans in a couple of different ways. And smart plans are definitely part of what gets you to the 201 Plus Club, because that's kind of what makes us up, right, Peter?
You've got to communicate, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's like a little broadcasting station is Command. It can text, it can email, you can set your calls, you can send newsletters, you can send market reports, you can send neighborhood nurture, new listing alerts, and just sold, as well as market data for a particular community. So yeah, it's all about communication. And to do that, you've got to have your data right at the beginning. So we're going to talk about setting your data up in a constructive way so that you can better communicate. But yet the 201 Plus Club is contacts that are actively being followed up. It's not just import them and hope for the best. You've got to import them and then be very purposeful about how you're going to, over time, reach out to those people and influence them to remind them that you're the realtor of choice.
So it's 201 or more healthy contacts. And if you're in our Facebook group at MCTTs Unleashed, we have that what makes up a healthy contact. That slide is in there for you. If you're not a member of the group, just come find us on Facebook and ask to get in, and we'll bring you in. The only stipulation is you have to be part of the Keller Williams family. Some people have tried to get in that have absolutely nothing to do with Keller Williams, and I'm sorry, but you're not getting in. Just because we have some proprietary stuff in there. So
yeah. So the goal of it is that you will earn $10,000 a month if you have 201 active, healthy, well-nurtured, well-informed contacts. So basically, it's your sphere. It's building your advocate clients that are going to find business for you. So what we want to do is remind them to do that and arm them to do that, so they're knowledgeable about real estate, so they can find referrals for us. So, yep, that's our goal.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's time to jump in. So let's jump in.
So just to remind everybody, we want questions today. So I can see there's a few people watching. If you want to just jump into the comments section on Facebook or in the the comment section on YouTube. Post your comment, we'll see it. If you do go to streamyard.com/Facebook first, we'll know who you are, because that gives permission to send your photo and name across. But please ask questions today. We want to answer as many questions as possible. So comment away. Thank you.
All right. Oh, that was the wrong one. There we go. Okay, so let's jump over here, and we are in command. And there's a couple of things I wanted to show you. So this has been coming up a lot for me as I'm helping agents. I'm actually working with a couple of teams, helping them make the transition from whatever CRM they're using into command, right? Because they're doing the smart thing. They're holding their dollars accountable, especially in a shifting market. And really, for what they're doing, command will do everything they need it to do and what they need to do for their team, and they're just throwing money away on what they're spending that money on, right? So one of the things that becomes important when you're on a team, joining a team, leaving a team, is changing the account associated with a contact. And there's a couple of ways to do it. One, everybody, I won't say everybody, but one is the most familiar way that a lot of agents are used to. However, there is an alternative too, and that's what I want to show you. So I'm going to jump into contacts here, and I think I have funky filters because I was doing something in here before.
You're on the podcast one, aren't you? So there's nothing shows up.
Well, it should still show up my goofy ones. I just gotta see what's going on here. And then I just want podcasts. So what you're looking at here is the advanced filtering, which is awesome because I can sort database by tags, neighborhoods, recently active, all kinds of cool stuff. So let me just go in here. I'm going to go back to, we're going to hit that smart view. And that's why I'm in my personal account.
So that's an easy mistake to make.
Right?
I wish it was a different color. I wish it was a different color when you're in one or the other, like they did dark background or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you got to switch to team account.
So we do get helpful messages though to remind us. So like right here, looking for more, there are 20 contacts in your team account which match this search. So it was there. I just wasn't looking. And then up here, this is your dead giveaway. Up here is the fact that is my personal name. I need to switch this to my team account, and this is typically my default account. Okay, so like I said, two ways that we can change an account. I can go over here and I can click the square next to name, and that's going to highlight all 20 of these contacts. And then I can go to bulk action, and this is in alphabetical order now. Why is change account not there?
No, it's a sign.
Huh?
A sign.
No, it says change account.
I think they've changed it to a sign.
It's change account. I just did it the other day. I can't imagine it would be a sign because I think that goes to a different person, right? Yeah, it's to assign it to
that's
team
what
members.
I thought you meant by change account.
No, change account means to take it back to the personal.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, let me show you then. Let's see. Let me look this up real quick. She doesn't have. Okay, so there's one. There's that Joe Schmolsky. So I can go like this. Bulk action. Change account is not there. This is not something that is an error on command's part. This is a user error on my part. So there's something in here that knows that it can't change account.
So
because it's not even giving it to me here, which is the other place that I would find it.
Yeah, because when you're in the personal account, you can say change to team account. When you're in the team account, can you say change back to personal?
Yeah, you can change it back.
Okay.
So I'm going to jump over to my, here at the risk of exposing data, I'm going to try to find somebody silly in here. So
what we're trying to avoid is
filters.
YouTube doesn't allow you to put real data online. they will shut down our channel and they will ban the video and we'll get into all sorts of trouble. So we're just being very cautious not to display anything that we shouldn't.
Okay, so I'm going to change this back to me, and we're going to look for Mickey. I'm sure I got a Mickey Mouse in here somewhere. Oh, Mickey Mantle. That works, but he was in that same thing, and so that's not going to give me the option. Nope. All right. I love it when a plan doesn't come together. Let me switch to the personal account and see what I can find. There's Mickey Mouse. That's who I was looking for. Okay, so if I want to select both of these and then go to bulk action, there's my change account. Yeah. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So I have joined a team, or I'm starting a team, and these are my personal contacts that I want to put over in the team account. 2 ways that I can do it. I can either hit the checkbox here, and that will highlight both of them, and then I go to select bulk action and go to change account, and then it will give you the option of which account you're going to move it to. All right, that's how I could do multiple. And then the other option is to hit the 3 dots out here, which we call ellipses. Is that right?
3 dots is good. I think
that's what our nerd friends
just
say.
Trying to sound too posh, really.
But I hit the 3 dots over here to the right, and I also get. I don't. Why don't I? I saw it there the other day. Oh no, I know where it is. All right, so I'm going to click on this. Now hit the 3 dots, and there's change accounts. Okay, so let me be clear on that. I hit the checkbox in the name field, and that will highlight all contacts that are listed, and then select bulk action, change account, and it will let me move them over to, say, my team account. Okay. Or if I'm in a specific contact record, I can hit the 3 dots up here and then change account, and it will let me change it there.
So why would you want to change account? What's the reason for doing it?
Well, if I have joined a team and I need to get my contacts out of my personal account and over to the team so that they can be worked in the team, right? Then that's one reason I would do it. As a rainmaker myself, I had to do it when I was just kind of cleaning up my database, because I had people that were still in my personal account that needed to be over to the team account so that my wife and I could both work those leads and contacts. So those are probably the most popular reasons.
So, and then there's designs for teams now, right? So if you want to send out a team design, like you might be doing a prize draw or something like that, you'll need the lead in the team account so it can get onto the smart plan that's being used with the team designs, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Plus, the rainmaker can see those contacts in the team account to help you with them.
Yep.
So cool. So there are 2 ways, but you're doing it from the personal to the team. I'm not sure how you do it from the team back, but that's
so it
doesn't seem to be there.
And I thought it was. So I will get back to everybody on that. All right. So one of the things that I showed you was to switch back and forth between personal and team account is just as easy as clicking here, going up here, clicking back. It always says other accounts, and click it back. Now, as I recall, if you're an agent that's in 2 different market centers because you're in 2 different states, it works the same way. It would show both of your market centers there, and you click on which one you're in. Now I want to go to settings. The other thing that I want to show you is how to make your team account your default account. And what this does is this saves the problem. Here's the other reason you would need change account, right? Is if I didn't do what I'm about to show you and I accidentally created a contact in my personal account and it was supposed to be in the team account all along.
Then you can move it.
Right.
And what about leads? I believe that leads come into the personal account from, like, if you run a Facebook ad, the leads come into the personal account, not the team account. I found that with teams. So they need to then move them over into the team account to work them.
If the it all depends on how a team is set up, and if the team is allowing their agents to run ads in their own business page, then yes.
A lot do.
Yeah.
That I've found.
However, they have the ability to utilize the team or the Rainmakers page too.
But I think it's down to who's spending the money. So if they want the agents to pay for their own marketing, it depends on the setup of the team. But the ones I've come across recently, they're running their ads in their personal accounts, and then they're kind of a bit annoyed because they want the rest of the team to be routing those leads and calling them. So that's why you'd want to then bulk send them over to your team account, so you can then decide who's going to work them.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so what I did here is I just clicked on my name, and then I'm going to settings. And then over here under general settings, we have default account. And then this is where I choose which account I want to be the default account. And what that means is every time I come into command and sign in, that's the account that's automatically going to show up. So if I'm on a team, that's what I want to have as my default account, is the team account. All right. Now, Peter, do you have a lot of experience with email lists?
You mean like buying a list from a list broker? No.
Creating them in here.
Oh, well, what I do is if I'm sending a campaign, so rather than a smart plan, I'm actually sending an email campaign. I create the list in the campaign, and then I select the tags it takes planning. So you've got to say, right, I want to segment a portion of my database to receive this particular, say, newsletter. But your newsletter, you might have one for one city. So, for instance, you could have one for Vero Beach, but you've also got clients in Port St. Lucie. So you tag them Vero Beach newsletter, and then you then create your list by going into the campaign, hitting the create list. Then you can do 100 at a time. You can do as many as you want. You can do thousands, but you've got to do 100 and scroll down, and another 100 and scroll down. But you can segment them by tags. So that's how I do the lists.
Okay, and that's how I just did it too. I'm doing some piecework for a real estate team south of us, and they reached out to me last night because they needed another newsletter to go out, or not a newsletter, but what they call an e-card, which is basically an email with a couple of flyers in it.
Right.
And I needed to create that list on the fly. And so that thing you're doing where it shows that you just said, and it shows 100 and you have to scroll down, I had to do that for 3,000 contacts.
I've done it. Yeah, you just got to. Well, what I've found is if you move the mouse to the bottom of the screen and hit the scroll bar at the bottom, it jumps down and just makes it quicker. Then you'd have to literally scroll.
So we're going to show you what we're talking about. I'm going to jump into campaigns, okay, because we're doing this as an email campaign and not as a smart plan.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to go to create campaign. We're going to make it an email. I'm going to do this as, we'll just call it a just listed. Let's say I want to get a just listed announcement out to my database, whatever that looks like. And we're going to advertise a listing. And then, yes, I want it to run in command mail. Here's one of the other pro tips. There's no reason to use MailChimp anymore. Unless you're already, you love it so much you don't want to leave it. I understand that. I'm not here to move you off of it. However, MailChimp, you're paying for it, and command mail is free up to 5,000 emails a month. Okay. And then it resets every month. So command mail is the mail that we're using now. It is no longer MailChimp. It hasn't been MailChimp for a very long time. All right. So we're going to create campaign. And then we're going to call it just listed. This is the account that I want it to come from, and then send to. And this is where we're talking about creating a list. All right. So I can create a list. And let's just say that I want to send this out to all of the podcast people, right? So I'm going to go to tags, and I'm going to choose podcast. Come on. Load more. And we're close. There we go. Oh, come on. Podcast. And then there's my podcast people. All right. All right. And we're going to call this, I'll call it eCard to podcast. And then we're going to select all. Now, this is what we were talking about. So there's only 18 contacts here anyway. But if I was to scroll down here, it would only show me 100. I'd have to hit see more, see more, right? Yeah, load more.
Yeah.
And it actually will give you the remaining number.
Yeah. You just keep doing it.
So you just keep scrolling down. And then don't keep checking it each time. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the list.
Then
scroll all the way back up to the top and then select all.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then I'm going to hit confirm. And now we can see that I have this email list. And now that email list will be there for me.
Yeah.
Right. Because I just created it.
Yeah.
And so it's there for me to use in the future as well. Send from and the name, the Bishop group. So Peter, if you can remind me, I want to take everybody back and show how that gets set.
Okay.
Right. Because a lot of times this might be the reply to email address and the name it's coming from may not be what you anticipate. And we're going to show you where you can change that. All right. And then enter subject, just listed. And then my contact, I can select a design. So I'm going to go over here, select a design. And we're going to say that this is the one that I've created. So I'll choose this. Gives me a chance to make any changes I want. I'm going to hit save. Save again. Then I'm going to X out. This is a little bit quirky, so that's why we're walking you through it. I saved it to make sure it saved my changes. I'm going to X out, and it's going to ask me to save changes again. We realized it's wonky. Just play along, and all will be well. All right, so I just hit save changes again, and now it will load the template. There it is in my email, and I am ready to send this out. So then I would just hit send, or I can schedule it to go out later.
Yeah. And then if you click on actions,
yeah,
you can send a preview to yourself.
Yeah.
So you can send a test mail. I've always done that because for some reason I'll spot a spelling error or a link problem in the actual email rather than in the design. So I always send one to myself and just check it out before I hit the mass email button.
Awesome.
And then regret it.
Well, we're going to do that. And that is a good idea. And also, you should probably add yourself to every email list that you create so that you get to see what went out as well.
Yeah, you know when it's gone out as well. Because it goes into... I usually send about 1,000 at a time. They go out over the day. They seem to go out in batches. But... what I've found is there'll be a delay before they start going out. And it depends how many people are running campaigns at that particular day. But it's just useful to know they've gone out.
So then, and I don't see it there yet. But let's just check. So if I refresh my Gmail, so it's not there yet, I don't think. Yep,
there it is.
There it is, right there. So it went to my promotions. That's probably the way that I have my Gmail.
Now, one thing to note: have you seen how it says who doesn't want to own a weekend getaway spot?
Yeah,
that is the most important part of when you're designing your email design template. The first line will be part of the subject line.
Wow.
So you really want to put something compelling. Now that's really good because it's like, who doesn't want to own a weekend getaway? I do.
Yeah,
I'd like to own one.
Absolutely. Whether I can or not is beside the point.
I absolutely can't, but I would like to. What would it be like? It'd be like I don't know, 8-bed somewhere on the ocean that I can rent out for $15,000 a night.
That's right.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Let me know how that works out for you.
You're supposed to dream big, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So yeah, it comes through. Everything looks the way that I anticipated to.
So, and the other thing is, it's important because it does not go from your email address. It says agent209873@mailer.com, mailer.kw.com. But what does matter is that the Bishop group. So we're going to show you how to make it say the Bishop group in the from line.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. But I think it only did this because I sent the test mail.
Nope.
My reply to is brettb@kw.com.
Yeah, but they do go out with the mailer on it. It's to stop spam filters. They're very protected email addresses that have been registered, and it's to increase deliverability.
Okay.
So that's how they go out. So, but it does say the Bishop Group, and if you look in there, if you look at your thing, so having that is important.
Okay. See, this is what's throwing me off because that's the reply to email address.
That's where it goes back to. If somebody was to respond to the email coming in.
Okay.
But it goes out with the mailer on it.
Okay. All right. So now let's take you back and show you. I am not going to save that. Well, I might save the draft for training purposes. But now let's take you back and show you where we would change the stuff that we were talking about as far as who the reply to is and all that. So we're going to go into our settings. So we're going to click on our name again. We're going to go into settings. And all the way down at the bottom of this page, right in command mail, I'm going to go to manage. And then I'm going to put in my sender name. So if you're on a team and you want the sender name to be the team, then just update it right here. All you have to do is click in the space, change it, you're good. And then here, I can choose the emails that are associated with me. So it's pulling from White Pages email, Keller Williams Recovery marketing profile, or I can add a custom email if it doesn't already exist there. Okay. And then I would save changes and I'm good. So that's where we go to change the sender name and the reply to email. If you don't change the reply to email here, that it's going to show that weird agent, blah, 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 blah. Right. And so it's very important. This is one of the questions that comes up probably most often is how do I change that name that the email is going to or coming from, especially when it comes to teams even just husband and wife teams. You may not want it to be the one person's name. You may want it to be the couple as a team's name. So this is where that change would happen. So again, it's super easy. I'm going to click on my name. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to scroll down to command mail down here and then hit manage. And then I can make those changes here. Right. And then this is showing your usage as well. So if you want to know how many emails you have left, you can come here to find that out.
So it costs $9.99 to have 10,000. So because what I was figuring the other day is we want to send a newsletter every week, not every month. We don't want to send a big newsletter every month. We want to send a short, easily digestible newsletter every week. So if you've got 3,000 contacts, you're up to 12,000.
Yeah.
Because you're sending one a week, plus your other emails.
Yeah.
So you can get that in the marketplace. There's a little logo with like a storefront.
I think we can go to manage subscription.
Yeah, you can do it from there. You can go to the storefront. Yeah.
So I love that, Peter. Talk to that a little bit. When you brought that to my attention last week, I just thought it was brilliant. So rather than have a monthly newsletter that has a just listed section of what's going on in the area, blah, blah, you're pulling those 4 main sections out and making them 1 email a week each.
Yeah, because so the 2 reasons for doing it. The more you email people, the more likely they are to open and read it, because there's 4 times a month for us to have a chance of it being clicked on as opposed to 1. But what I found with the big newsletters, which everybody puts a lot of effort into, they'll have like a 5-page, 10-page newsletter. They'll have recipes, what's on. They'll have just listed, just sold. They'll have a mortgage corner. They'll have a featured vendor. They'll have a community event. It's like they end up. It's like sending someone a newspaper. They're just not going to read it. Not in an email.
Yeah.
So if you split it into 4 topics, so week 1 you'll send a market report to educate them about what's going on in their local market. The next week you might do what's on in town, so events, because people really want to know. They don't want to. It's the fear of missing out, right?
Right.
If there's a big event going on, like a concert or something like that, get that in there. Then you might do vendor spotlights. That could be a restaurant as well as somebody like a home inspector, tips for having a home inspection pass. You could do that the next week. Then the final week you might just do just listed. Right. But you don't want to do just real estate every single newsletter.
Right.
You want to mix it up with local events, local information.
It's similar to what we recommend with social media. What you've probably heard 1,000 times is that your social media page, even your business page, shouldn't just be blasted with
I'm totally guilty
all
of it. Mine
the
is
time.
100% real estate. It's a big failing on my part. I just never think about, the story about the dog being rescued or something that might be interesting.
Yeah.
To post that and share it. So, great news in Port Charlotte this week. This poor little pup went missing, it's been found. You've got to mix it up.
Yeah.
Right. And you've got to include your life. You've got to include what you're doing. So like your kids might graduate or someone might pass the driving test or something like that. I'm actually following an agent in England who is superb at social media, but she's a natural. She just posts her life, but she doesn't do it in a pretentious way. There's no filters. She's not, I don't want to say.
She's not Kardashian.
No, she's not doing all that. What she's saying is, I'm working hard today. I've got 5 showings and I'm going to do it. And then she'll talk about something that's going on in a town. And then she'll talk about what she wants to binge watch on Netflix next. Right. So she's mixing up, but she's got this really good following. You should see this young lady. I think she's probably doing 15 to 20 listings a month.
Wow.
I don't think she spends any money.
And which for her, because
I see the new listings,
she gets that whole deal, doesn't she?
Buy and sell.
Yeah.
So she gets the buyers, and the buyers then list. But unfortunately, she's not with Keller Williams. I wish she was, because I'd be highlighting her.
You can change that.
Yeah, I try to recruit her into there is an office about 20 miles away from where she lives, so it's a shame that she's with who she's with. But she is really awesome at the social media, and that's one way of learning is to look at someone doing something successfully.
Yeah.
She's not training on it. She's not trying to be a coach. Like I've sold a house, now I'm going to be a coach. She's not doing any of that. She's just sharing the right content at the right time with the right cadence. She's using professional photography. She's using video.
Very important.
She's using the right microphone. She's got all that going on. But other than that, she's not like, she's not trying to be amusing or funny or, it's not TikTok style stuff.
Right.
But it's really compelling, and her audience has grown. And you see them commenting, I'm going to sell soon. I'm definitely listing with you.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's powerful.
Click that. So, doing that is really cool. But just keeping, like we're all like goldfish now because of the scroll and because of social media algorithms. It's programmed us to look at something for a millisecond, decide if we're interested.
Right.
They're going to do that with your newsletter. So you might as well split it into topics.
Yeah. So I love that idea, splitting it up like that.
And then monitor your open rates.
Okay.
So if we were back in command, we don't ever really share about this, but there's a brilliant reporting section. And you can go into the reporting, and I don't know if you want to pull it up.
Yeah, let's just talk about this real quick, because you mentioned it. So this is where this is in the KW Marketplace. I can get to it by going down here. We were already in the manage command email. I can manage my subscription here, or I can click on this funky little retail store here, and then that takes me into the marketplace, and then
just type in email
there too. Yeah,
just type email. And it comes like in a square top right.
And then there we go. And then
you're back to where you were.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where I can upgrade my plan if I want to. Now I gotta hit back. Okay.
So it's gone to the graph.
Reporting. Right here.
Yeah.
So that's reports over here.
Go to emails.
I probably don't have any.
Doesn't matter. Just saying this is what we show.
Okay.
So this will show you your number that you sent in the month. It'll show you delivered, your undelivered, and your opened, right? So you can see your open rate. But then if you click on view details, you can see who has opened.
Okay.
Right? So what you then want to do is you say, right, I'm calling these people. They've opened and read my newsletter. I'm going to call them and thank them.
Awesome.
Right? And let them know, or ask them, what would you like including in the next newsletter? See, I'm opening your smart plans.
You are. That is awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yes. So now you can tell I'm showing interest in the bi-weekly neighborhood because it is telling me about my community and the area. So I'm a customer on Brett's account, and Brett's sending me a smart plan, and I'm actually opening it. But Brett now knows that. So he knows that I've got an interest in real estate. I might even be thinking about moving.
Yeah.
So we've got to dig into this because it's really powerful. The clicked is even more powerful because if you've got a link, say you're doing a prize draw entry or something like that, or request for CMA or an offer, you can see who has clicked on the link and who has actually not just opened the email, but gone in and read it and clicked on it and acted on it.
Awesome. So let's be clear about that. What this means is the opened means that they actually opened it from their inbox, and then that opened the email, but then the clicked means that they clicked on whatever the button or call to action was, whatever. So you're clicking on the screenshot or the snippet of the neighborhood nurture, and then it's taking you to that landing page. So you're clicking through to that website.
Yeah. So if you've got 1,000 people and you've got neighborhood nurture going out, you can then see who's really engaging with it, right? So who is actually looking at dollar per square foot, just listed, just sold, the level of inventory, all of that stuff. You've got a buyer who's researching the market or a seller. So you can then make that a task and say, right, I am going to call this person because they're interacting with my communications. And each week that'll change.
Okay.
Every week there'll be new people in there.
Yeah.
But what a lot of us are doing, we're kind of working without seeing what's going on. So we're sending out emails, we're doing smart plans, and we're not ever doing anything with it. So you've got to go into your stats to see who's engaging with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think you're 100% right. I think most agents, that's what they're doing. They're sending it out because they know they need to send it out. But and one thing that we talk about on this podcast all the time is that you need to inspect what you expect. So if you're sending it out, that's great. That's half of it. Then you need to go see how much your database is really checking things out. And there's two things that are important in here too, not just the opened and click-through rate or who's clicked, but you have what's been marked as spam, which I imagine would be helpful too. And one of the really big things is who's unsubscribed. So it should unsubscribe automatically, but I would come in here and just double check, right? Because things can go wrong with any system. And just make sure that those contacts are truly unsubscribed so that you don't end up with a fine by continuing to send email to somebody who thinks they've unsubscribed.
Yep. And that's another thing is neighborhood nurtures can be unsubscribed very simply. But saved searches that have been set up by the customer, we cannot unsubscribe them.
Yeah.
Only the customer can. So when you've got someone screaming down the phone saying, don't send me another email again, you have to say, look, you signed up.
Right.
We didn't sign you up for this search.
Yeah.
Therefore, you've got to log in and cancel the search. Otherwise, you're going to keep receiving them. And I know there's one where a lawyer got involved, and the lawyer's saying, well, what's going on? And we said the customer initiated this email.
Right.
It wasn't done by the agent.
Right.
And once they got that, they go, oh, okay. So that's just one to watch out for is your saved searches.
Well, and I was in this recently. To speak to that point, I was in this recently, and if we create a saved search for a customer, we can delete that.
Yes.
However, if they've created one, we can see it, but we can't edit it. We can't delete it or anything.
No, we've no control over it. So you just got to watch that. So if you get somebody calling and say, I don't want to receive these alerts anymore, you've got to walk them through logging into your website, selecting the search and canceling.
Yeah.
Which it only takes a minute, but there isn't a quick and easy way of doing it.
All right. So what else fun do we have? And again, if you're listening and you have any questions, please comment in YouTube or on Facebook and let us know if there's anything that you've had questions with in Command, anything that you want to see us demonstrate for you, anything like that. We're more than happy to do it. Again, we're just kind of going through all the different applets and showing you some tips and tricks that you may not be aware of that help kind of speed up your workflow in Command. So let's see. Let's come down here to consumer. Well, I can't because I have the new experience. However, let me just take a look at it real quick.
I want to see if they've added anything yet. Have they added any
no
features?
Not yet.
Because I know there is a exciting thing coming, which is going to be a home valuation tool.
Yes.
And this is going to be really good for getting listings.
Yeah.
So what you do is you go on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok even. I said it. Not that I would ever go. I don't even have an account.
I don't either.
Right. So there you go. Just, I just don't want to get involved in that. I don't know why. Anyway, on one of the social media platforms, people think this is dead and died and doesn't work anymore. I can assure you this does work. If you say to somebody on a post, if somebody wanted to buy your home, do you know how much to sell it for? ?
Love it.
Enter to find out your home value now. You will get seller leads when you call them, they will have an intent to sell. It may be down the road, it may be now, but there is an intent to sell. So there is a way of finding listings by using social media ads, as long as you've got a landing page to convert them, which is the tool, which is why we are so excited that this is coming. So we'll do a podcast on it when the time comes.
Absolutely. Like you said, I'm super excited about that one because it has been something that most agents have had to pay for from another service.
Oh yeah, minimum $60 a month.
I've used listings to leads because I was already subscribing to that, and that's a feature that they have. But that, like you said, $60 a month is the cheapest.
I'm paying $175 right now.
Right, because you have a more
street text one,
more advanced.
Yeah, I mean, so some landing pages convert and some don't, and why that is science, right? It's just how the landing page looks, but even without a home valuation automated tool, you can still generate seller leads. You can build a Google form, right? And on that Google form, you could put your name, your address, how long you're thinking of selling, time frame, what improvements have you made to the home, any other comments, right? And name, phone number, email. So you could create a Google form, embed that in your Keller Williams site, which you can do on the old site, or you can just... I saw one today where a guy had created a Google form for a reverse bold 100. So he's offering a $1,000 Amazon gift card as the prize. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really nice form. Really nice. It got graphics on it. It looked like a web page.
Wow.
So he's then created a Facebook ad targeting, real estate niche in his area and making an announcement that he's just joined Keller Williams. And
nice.
Part of rewarding the people.
That's smart.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
So,
you think he was using Jot forms or something like that for that fancy form?
No, it was Google Forms, and he'd just done a really good job of it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it taken the time to add the images.
Yeah, which for all of you listening to this or watching this, you've got access to Google Forms for free.
Yeah, it's part of your Keller Williams.
Part of your KW.com email.
Yeah. So you want to definitely dig into learning about Google Forms. Create the landing page. Get people to click on it, and then you could have them. So what you'd say is, we don't provide an automated value because they suck, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Right? Yeah, you might want to use some fancier, more polite terminology, but yes, that's the main point.
Right. So you don't want to guesstimate, right? Or as estimate. Yeah. You want to have a good quality, handcrafted expert CMA for your home. Yeah. In order to do that, I need to see your home. So you could have a link to Calendly.
Yeah.
Right. And have people book an appointment with you to do a home valuation. So this stuff works. You're not going to get 50 or 100 of these. You're going to get a handful. But if you get one listing,
absolutely,
$10,000, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth the time, which is maybe a couple of hours to build that form out and create the ad and deploy it. It's worth it.
So seller leads by nature are fewer and harder to come by, like you said. However, some of the buyer leads that you think you're getting, a lot of times those are sellers
as well,
just kind of putting their feelers out for the market.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are 4 million transactions and Zillow has sold 450 million leads.
That were all yours to begin with.
Yes, and you're paying for them, and
you're buying them back.
We're making that company 450 million transactions. It doesn't make any sense. So, but what I'm saying is there are multitudes of buyers in a market, but there is a limited number of listings.
Right.
So, it's about, roughly speaking, 5% of the nation's inventory lists and sells every year. So you've got a 1 in 20 chance if you knock on a door. So you're thinking of moving this year. They may not even know they're going to move, but they're likely to move.
Yeah.
So your maximum conversion rate is about 5%. So don't be disappointed if you get 3%. You're actually doing really well.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It seems like most percentages of success ratios are like 1% or less.
Yeah.
Depending on what the marketing technique is. Well, and that's an interesting stat that you brought up too, because like people that do door knocking, they'll do like 20 doors. Well, your stat says at best they're going to get one of those.
Well, one of those may move, but they may not know they're going to move.
Okay.
So say it's January and I'm going to move in November. in January, I might not know I'm going to move in November, right? Because the job I didn't lose my job. Life happens, you know, another baby's coming, or someone dies and inherited, and I want to buy a bigger house, or my parents are going to need to move in because father's got a sickness. You know, life happens, right?
Right.
So you've a 1 in 20 chance, but they'll say, no, I'm not moving. Right? So you might. Yeah. So this business is about being top of mind at the point of need. So when because we don't sell houses, right? We do not sell houses. You cannot convince someone to sell a house, right? Yeah. You just can't. You know, they'll have a reason to sell it, or, you know, a reason to move. So what we do is we facilitate a transaction when the need arises. But the only way you're going to be that person is you have to be top of mind. So staying top of mind is the goal of an agent, which is why these old school, I'll call them, agents who dial for dollars are top of mind, because they're calling. I mean, I saw one, it was yesterday. He posted, he did 672 dials in one day and had 100 conversations, and he got like 3 prospects out of it. Wow. It was 3%, right? Of the 100 conversations. Yeah. So now he's using an auto dialer. He's got 3 lines running, so it might have taken him a couple of hours. But the problem is he's going to run out of data. Like if you're in a small town, there's only 14,000 people with phones.
There's only so many expires, only so many FISBOs.
But what you're doing is you're staying top of mind. You're staying ever present. So the guys who have the billboards, they have the billboards for a reason, because you see their face with a halo around it. You know, the one I'm talking about, the one in town, right? So, but you do see it, and you're staying top of mind. So that is going to cost you $3,500 a month just for a billboard. They're really expensive.
Well, I will tell you, Matt Patterson in my office, I think a couple of his billboards are specifically so that his beautiful little daughter can see herself with her daddy as they drive down the street.
I'm sure. So I wasn't talking about Matt Patterson.
I know you are.
I was talking about the remarks guy.
But I had that conversation with Matt, and he specifically chose a couple of billboards so that his daughter got to see them all the time.
Right. So I'm not saying you got to go out and buy a billboard. What I'm saying is if you have enough kind of broadcasting of who you are and what you do to enough people on a regular basis, they will think of you when their need arises to buy or sell. Right. So you wonder how these agents get these listings. It's because they're top of mind, and they have a sphere of people, customers, they're advocate clients. Yep. They are people who are going to find customers for them. So I've been talking to a lot of new agents. We've been hiring a lot recently, and they're all going off in the wrong direction initially. They're thinking about logos. They're thinking about websites. They're thinking about business cards and all that. What I'm saying to them is, you need to write down 201 people who could bring you business by referral. Yeah. So these are advocates. These are people who understand what you do and your quality and your ethics and your skills as an agent, and will talk to the community on your behalf and bring you the buyer. So when you look at successful agents in the office and you notice they're not really doing anything, they just get business, it's because they built their sphere at the beginning. So that referral, it's not a referral network of agents. That matters as well. It's a referral network of vendors, suppliers, the past clients that they may have had, friends and family of those clients. They're always nurturing those relationships. Right. And quite often they're doing client events. And you're wondering, well, how do you get business from doing an event? They're not. They're earning the right to get the referral. They're nurturing the relationship. They're paying for some food and some entertainment to bring people together, so that it reminds them, I'm a realtor and I'm good at what I do, and I'm also giving you this enjoyable event so that you refer to me. Yeah. So the secret to being a successful real estate agent is having an army of people who are going to bring you business. Yeah. And to get that, you want to use command, because command allows you to communicate in a systematic way, so that you using do the database too, which is all in the book, right? It's all Gary Keller. It's in the book, and we have playbooks for it now too, which is awesome, because those are your roadmap. The playbooks that were just released at Mega Camp are amazing. Yeah. So the first thing that you should do is download the memory jogger, and we've got that in our MCTTs Unleashed group. We've also got it in our Safe Harbor group. Download the memory jogger. It's got hundreds of people that you may know. And if you don't know someone that is that particular, like a tax accountant, divorce lawyer, an estate planner, a financial advisor. If you don't know one, it's your job to go find one and become an associate with them. So what it's not saying, oh, find the people you know on this list. It's saying find the list, make the list come alive.
So if you yourself haven't been through the ugliness of a divorce, then you undoubtedly know somebody that has. So find out who their attorney was.
Yeah. So you want to go through that memory jogger, and then enter into your database name, phone number, email, physical address, occupation, and neighborhood that they're interested in buying or selling, if it is relevant. Once you've got that information, you can then build your newsletter to communicate, your neighborhood nurture to inform, and you do the database to contact, your quarterly call planning. If you do that, you will be as good, if not better than 80% of agents out there. This isn't rocket science.
No,
it's really, really not. It's just breaking the barriers, because there's so many shiny objects. There's so many, like, can I say pissed on this podcast? Pissed.
It's not a bad word.
I'm pissed, right? It is in England.
Mo, forgive him.
It is in England. So what I'm really sick and tired of is the gurus out there who are trying to convince you to do things in a completely different way and pay $5,000 to $10,000 to find everything you need to know is in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. Everything that you need to know. When was it written?
2004.
Okay, so
I was dead wrong. I thought it was 2001. I tried to correct Mr. Orsini, and he was right.
So it's 2004. So that in itself it's what's that? Nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a couple of things that might not make sense. You've got to translate it into today's, environment, especially with technology. But the models and the systems are there, and you just got to bring them into our current world. So and there's certain things you can do and can't do. You're not allowed to do mass texting, which you might recommend. One of these gurus might recommend a mass texting program. It's definitely not allowed in Florida.
Those people don't care if you get fined $10,000.
No, this guy, I was watching his video 2 days ago, and he said, I do not follow rules. Right? No one can tell me that I can't bring value to my customers and do my job. So he doesn't do the do not call. He doesn't care about the text. He doesn't care about any of it. And this guy's a major trainer, one of the biggest. Right. I don't follow rules. Well, I tell you what, you can afford not to follow rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, but I can't. I don't want to be paying $50,000-$60,000 out in fines.
Right.
So you got to be careful about what people tell you. You do need to follow those rules, because
if you're a Keller Williams agent and you don't want to follow the rules, well, guess what? Gary's not going to have your back the second time around, because he just wrote a big ass check to cover everybody this first time. So
follow the rules. Follow the rules, then follow the systems and models. And what you want to do is build a database with 201 people in it as a minimum. You want to get 1,000, but start with that 201 as a goal, and then make sure that if you've got a missing contact, like someone. Say, for instance, you're selling homes here, like in Port Charlotte. You need to have people who are in the Midwest referring, because there's a lot of people every year get sick of the cold weather, sick of the taxes, sick of the politics, whatever it may be. They just say, right, I'm done, I'm moving. But they don't know an agent in Florida. Right. But they know people in their local area. So you want to be marketing and keeping top of mind in those feeder markets. It's important. Then you want to specialize, niche down, so that you're serving and offering value to a specific community. If you do that and you have your 201 contacts, you're going to sell a lot of real estate, and you won't need to spend a lot of money on marketing. No. But everybody's falling into the trap of doing the opposite. Right. Of going, I'm going to buy Zillow leads.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes he says that just to get me provoked, because he knows how much I despise Zillow. So I'm not going to get into that. But you did say some things that were important to me, and one was the agents that are successful are the ones that are willing to do the work. They're the ones that are making the phone calls, the door knocking, whatever it takes to work those ratios to get the business they need, right? The other is that they're working their sphere of influence, because everybody has a sphere of influence. I don't care who you are, you have something. The trick is, when you're in a Keller Williams training or any real estate training, I'm sure, pull out your phone, there's your database. Okay, some people say, I don't want to call those people. Now, every once in a while, there's an absolutely legitimate, valid reason because everybody in that phone is somebody from a past you're trying to get away from. Guess what? Delete them all. They don't need to be in your phone then.
Yeah.
And then the last thing you said is like new agents getting started. They don't want to do the first thing we talked about. They don't want to do the second thing that we talked about because they're worried about logos, branding, all this other stuff. Well, guess what? If you're not going to do the first two things, your logo is going to be around for about 3 months and then you're going to be out of the business.
Yeah. So there's another thing going on that's getting to me, which is an education event about branding, right? Well, okay. So it's like brand. So what this guy then said was, which it's like, I probably shouldn't say this, like I'm saying it. What this guy said, he started talking about Nike. Right? Why are you even comparing Nike with a fledgling real estate agent who's trying to establish a brand?
Right.
It's like it's an impossible goal to develop a Nike level brand. It's not even worth attempting it. It's not even relevant. We're hyper local real estate agents. We want to create a following and a brand in our own town. I get that. But don't start bringing in major brands and saying, this is how they did it. You should be doing these same things. It's not even relevant. What matters is that you have an army of advocate people who are looking out for you to bring you business. That's how you succeed in real estate.
Yeah.
There is no other way either, right? So I don't care who you talk to. When you come across successful agents, they often don't even know how they did it. Right?
Yeah.
They'll say,
I've heard that.
Right?
Yeah.
But what they did do is they told everybody they know on a regular basis what they do for a living and how they want to help their friends and family of those people.
Yeah.
Right? So what they didn't do is try and sell a house to those contacts.
Yeah.
Right? So when you've got that person who says, I don't want to contact the people I know, it's because we're not selling insurance. We're not trying to get them to buy a life insurance policy. That's different. You've got to be pretty hardcore to start doing that kind of game. What we're saying is just call them, let them know that you've moved and changed career and that you would be really, really happy if they would listen out amongst their friends and associates for anybody who's thinking of buying and selling. You're not asking them, are you thinking of buying or selling?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have any fear about asking for a referral. There should be no fear in that whatsoever. And it's the baseline to success is having that network. So you just got to do it. Right?
Yeah, you have to do it. And the logos and the branding, the brand new agents that are getting trapped in all that. Most of those new agents they're not willing to get on camera and do the videos and everything that you have to do to even have all that stuff to begin with.
Yeah.
So guess what? What's your logo? Your face. Your face and your personality and your value proposition. That's your logo. That's all it needs to be, especially when you're a solo agent. I will never understand why solo agents have logos. I'll never understand it. An email signature that might have some fancy script in your email signature, fine. But I'll never understand unless you're thinking big, you're thinking long-term, which everybody should, but not everybody does. And you're going to do a YouTube channel and you're going to do all this stuff, fine. Do a logo, but not before you've started working your sphere and getting into production, getting into business. Take advantage of productivity coaching. Work with your market center tech trainers in the office so that you're learning how command works and utilizing it as a tool to grow and sustain your business. Logos, branding. You brought it up like with the business cards. Agents get so focused on business cards. Business cards are 100% useless these days. 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely useless.
Yeah, and you have one anyway. You've got a digital business card in your command app. Yeah. All you got to do is point your phone at someone else's phone or send them text them a link. It'll put your contact into their phone contacts. So anyway, without getting too away from it, we are prospecting-based, marketing enhanced. Don't worry about marketing. Don't worry about advertising. Don't worry about branding unless you've earned the right to do that because you've done the prospecting. You've built your sphere. You've built your group of people. So concentrate on that first, and don't get distracted by it. The other thing is you've got to learn to delay the gratification.
Yeah.
right? So this will not get you into selling houses in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. It just doesn't, right? What it does is it puts you in a very strong position in a year's time.
Yeah.
So you have to delay the gratification. You have to say, right, I am going to do this action today because in a year, someone is going to call me and say, John, best friend of mine, him and his wife are splitting up and they want to sell the house and they both want to buy another one each.
Yeah.
3 transactions. Right.
So this conversation actually leads me to, I have heard recently, and I've heard throughout the years I've been in real estate, especially with Keller Williams, because we do focus on and foster teams and team building and thinking large, right? I can't tell you how many times new agents, brand new to the business, have come in. So when we talk about the logos and everything, like I said, for me, it makes no sense for a logo to belong to a solo agent, especially when they're first starting out. Now, for a team branding, yes, it's important. But the thing to think about with that is a team is something you grow to, right? So you've already earned the right to develop the branding.
You've got to have too many leads. Well, you've got to have so much business you can't cope with it before you start building a team.
So that's what I'm getting at. And there's been new agents that have come in our doors that they don't know the first thing about real estate, and they're going to start a team right away. How can you feed other people's mouths and the mouths of their families if you haven't even fed your own in real estate?
Yeah. So, I mean, there is one slightly position against that. If you're a non-selling team leader, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take a split of the commission of the team members and you're going to help them and nurture them and help them grow their businesses.
Well, how can I do that if I just got into real estate?
By following systems and models and taking the MREA and deploying it.
Okay, I love that you brought us back there, because if you are going to try to do that, there was a manual written for it in 2004 called the Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
So it's slightly possible, but it's not really a good idea, because it's very hard to attract high quality agents if you're not a high quality agent yourself. Yeah. Right. So
wait, it blows my mind with productivity coaches that never did any business, and now all of a sudden they're going to teach other people how to do business. I'm sorry, I'm not going to hire you. I'm not going to take part in your coaching, because what can you tell me? You haven't done it.
Yeah. So that's my opinion too. Totally. And what I'm seeing as the markets, so as the number of sales has gone down, the dollar volume is still up. So everyone's making money who's getting transactions because the dollar volume is supporting it. But as the number of transactions has gone down, I'm seeing a lot of people decide that they're going to be a coach, right? When in fact they've not really earned the right to be a coach yet.
Right.
So there is that going on. But again, it's just another shiny object. It's another distraction. It's like taking people away from the core of what they need to do, because there are still 4 million transactions and you have to earn your market share of those 4 million. And you've got to work 50% harder than you've ever worked so that you can get that market share. So there are agents right now doing really, really well in this market, right? And you look at how they're doing that, right? And it's because they have the basics in place and they are working hard, right? They're following up every opportunity that they get. So what we're saying is take the systems, take the models and the software, which is Command, and use it in the manner that's described in the MREA to get the result, which is what you're looking for, which is a healthy business, which has got advocate clients. People will recommend you. So let's do that. And then we'll worry about what your website looks like.
Absolutely. Yep. So there's some tips and tricks for you in navigating Command to help you use it more efficiently, to help you build and grow your business. Peter and I are always here to help. You most likely have a Market Center tech trainer in your office. If you do not, then you have a regional tech trainer. We actually just saw a printout recently, and it looks like every region except for 2.
Are you thinking of going to Arizona?
No, actually, I have a buddy that is a former MCTT over there that is vying for that position, and I really think that Bill Rosine should be that person over there.
Good for you.
Yeah, the Plaid Dad.
Yeah.
He's an awesome dude.
Oh, he should, yes.
Yeah,
But,
right?
Yeah, that would
so,
make sense.
So not that region, and I think the other one's way too far away from me. I don't know.
I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere like
was.
Boise, Idaho, or something, somewhere.
Oh no, you know what it was? It was one of the Texas regions that's got like all of these major cities. Like it's a big region. Maybe not geographically, but all the big cities that
anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
So you have an RTT, which is a regional tech trainer, and their job is to hook you up with the people who can help you.
Yep.
So yeah, reach out to us and we'll let you know who the RTT is if you don't know. If you're in one of my market centers that I cover, I have freetechconsultation.com. You can book a call with me directly. Anytime you choose the day and time, I'll be there and do one-to-one Zooms and walk you through whatever you need to achieve.
Awesome.
Recent things we've just done. We've done Reverse Bolt 100 ad campaigns. We've done Just Listed for a $2 million beautiful house, really, really nice house. Done it without lead generation. We've done it for reach. We want people to see the house.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like we do things that don't, on face of it, make sense. We just want eyeballs on this house because it'll sell because it's good.
Yeah.
So we've done that recently. What else have we been doing? Been helping agents setting up the tagging, setting up the databases, downloading smart plans, choosing one of 10 Keller Williams smart plans because we know they work. So and installing those into your database. Every day there's somebody doing something new. So yeah, reach out. I'll definitely help. And if you're not in one of my market centers, then we will hook you up with the right person to take care of it. And if we can't find anybody, we'll still help you.
Yeah, we'll still help you. I'm here to help. Absolutely. It's actually a new business that I've started, but I'm not going to plug that here because this is always coming from contribution. However, you can reach out to me if you do need some one-on-one help, and I'm still going to work my best to get you plugged into your market center tech trainer and your office, because that is where the Keller Williams magic happens. Our culture and everything is experienced by getting engaged with your office. So that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you got some good stuff out of it. I'm sure some of those tips and tricks were helpful. And we're coming up on our 15th episode of season 2, and the first season was only 15 episodes. So I don't know. We might take a break for a few weeks. We've got another podcast that we have to get launched, and so I might take that little break to focus on that, because that's an important one. That one is going to encompass all of our labs advisors, which is fantastic. So yeah, that's it for this one. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.